So first and foremost, when you are going to be working on a responsive project, the very first thing you need to do is to make sure that you include this line of code in your HTML head. That should be on every single page that you're working on. This is a meta tag, and a meta tag is basically data about the page. There are a variety of different meta tags that we use, and you will learn about different ones as you work on different projects. One of the main ones we use a lot is description. If you think about when you do a search engine and there's that 1 or 2 sentence description about the website, that comes from a meta tag. In this case, we're using the meta tag Viewport. Viewport is all about how it scales on a screen, how it looks, the size, the dimensions. So in setting the viewport, we're going to start with the content. Content equals, quote, width equals device width. What that's saying is, look, whatever the width of this page is the width of the device. Whether it's a phone, whether it's a laptop, whether it's a desktop, whether it's a TV. Then we go to the initial scale. Initial dash scale equals 1.0. Basically what we're saying is don't zoom in or zoom out of the site. Show it exactly as it is, 100%. Right? So that line of code, this is really crucial. Without this line of code, if you shrink and grow your window just by moving it like this, it will look responsive. I promise you it'll be like, hey, this looks great. But then if you actually open it on a device or you go check your code in the Google Inspect editor and use the emulator for tablet or mobile, you'll notice that it doesn't work. First thing I'm going to tell you, if your site seems to work when you slide the window, but it's not working when you are on the actual device or using an emulator, then double check and make sure you have this tag and that this line of code has been written correctly. So that's the first thing you want to do. The next thing we want to do is we want to think about the box model. Now you guys all remember that the box model says, hey, we're going to take the width plus the borders plus the padding and we're going to add it all together. And so you have to adjust. If you really want it only to be 500, you've got to remove all the other things. There's a way to turn that off. There's a way to turn it off so we don't have to think about it. And this is going to be really crucial when it comes to responsive. The way we turn it off is something called box sizing. You'll see that right here. Box sizing controls how the browser gets the actual size. Border box tells it, look, if I say 500 pixels, well, do all the calculations for me. We no longer have to do the math. So let me give you a prime example. I have 2 boxes here and here. They both have a width of 500 pixels, a border of 20 pixels, a border of 2 pixels, and padding of 20 pixels on the left and right. So they're exactly the same width. But watch what happens when I add this class. I have created this class of box sizing. So I'm just going to put it on this one div. I'm going to save that. And there you go. This one at the top is actually 544 pixels. 500 for the width, 2 pixels on the left and right of the border, and 20 pixels on the left and right. So 544. This is 500. This is what we want. Okay? So that's what box sizing does. So we know the box sizing will remove the box model, but we want to remove it for everything on there. We don't want any block element to be using this box model for responsive. So the easiest way to do that is we're going to turn that off. And let me show you how we're going to turn that off for everything. First of all, I'm going to pull this out. And I'm going to come right over here to the top, the very top of my page, underneath any imports or anything. I'm going to put the asterisks. Now the asterisk is a wild card, meaning it covers everything. By putting any styles in there, it's going to affect every single thing we do. So be very careful. What we're going to do here is we're going to say box sizing, border box. And there you go, they both shrank. Now they're both following the border sizing of box, of turning off the box model. Those two things are crucial when you're setting up your files for responsive, because it's just going to make, this one's going to make your life easier. The meta tag, well, if you don't have it, it's just not going to work.